Well, guys, the WWE finally put on a great pay-per-view. Cheers to the Elimination Chamber. That was a hell of a good pay-per-view. Way better than the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble sucked ass. The Elimination Chamber was a big improvement. So, cheers to the WWE for finally doing their job. Alright, guys, I'm going to get right into the Elimination Chamber review. I've got a lot of shit to cover, and I only have like 14 minutes to do so or something like that, so just going to get right into the review. So, to start off the pay-per-view, we had the Intercontinental Championship match between Jack Swagger versus Big E, and Big E won. And it was an okay match to start off the pay-per-view. And then after the match, Wade Barrett does a Bad News Barret. Wade Barrett comes out and does a Bad News Barret promo, making fun of the U.S., saying Russia won more Olympic medals than us, which, I mean, I guess is true. I don't know about you guys, but I really don't care that much about the Olympics. I mean, the Winter Olympics especially, I don't give much of a shit about, except for the hockey. I'll get into that another day, but anyway, so, yeah, Russia, I guess, got more Olympic medals than us, which is too bad, so. Then we had the WWE Tag Title match between the New Age Outlaws versus the Usos, and the New Age Outlaws retained. And to tell you guys the truth, I wasn't paying much attention to this match because I don't know. I was going through my Twitter. I was going through my Twitter feed more than paying attention to this match. And yeah, I just always like going on Twitter during a WWE pay-per-view and just socializing with all the other wrestling fans. It's pretty funny, and sometimes it's pretty damn good and fun and entertaining. So anyway, back on track. So So I wasn't paying much attention to this match, and after this match, Wade Barrett came out again and put on another Bad News Barret, saying that Daniel Bryan will not win in the Elimination Chamber, and so that's all he said for that. And I mean, he did this at least 2 more times. I think Wade Barrett came out 2 more times and delivered Bad News Barret promos, and I actually enjoyed the Bad News Barret promos. I thought they were actually pretty funny. And I mean, his promos are good, but I just want to see Wade Barrett get back in the ring and wrestle, even though his Bad News Barret promos are good. So, yeah, I just hope that the WWE, I think the WWE must be, like, setting up Wade for something besides these promos, I hope. Which, I mean, yeah, I just hope that I just hope that the WWE is doing something with Wade Barrett, with these whole promos, with these whole Bad News Barret shit. I hope they, have something going on with Wade Barrett, like, maybe he'll, I don't know, join some kind of tag team, maybe it'll push him to win a title, I don't know. In my opinion, down the road, Wade Barrett should be a world champion. I mean, he's been in the WWE since 2010. He's been wrestling for this company for a while now. So I do think that Wade Barrett should become a world champion soon. But back on track, so after all of that, then we had a bathroom break match with Titus O'Neil versus Darren Young. And, realistically, how many of you guys gave a shit about this match? I didn't give a shit about it, that's for sure. I didn't give a shit about this match. But anyway, Titus O'Neil won. Who really cares? And then, after that, another Bad News Barret promo from Wade Barrett. And I couldn't remember what he said about this one. I think he was talking about Minnesota's electricity or something like that. And he was saying that it was as bad as their NFL team, something like that. I can't remember what he said for that promo, but it was still pretty entertaining. And now we get to the match of the night next. Next up, we have the Shield versus the Wyatt family. All I gotta tell you guys is that this match was epic. It was awesome. It was match of the night, match of the year. I would put it in like a candidate for that, but definitely the Shield versus the Wyatt family is match of the night, hands down. It was a classic back and forth tag team match. Let's see. The Wyatts during the match put Seth Rollins through a table, and then Roman Reigns tries to fight back against the Wyatt family, but gets a Sister Abigail from Bray Wyatt, and the Wyatt family beat the Shield. So yeah, the Wyatt family defeated the Shield. What a war! It was a great match, a great battle, a great brawl, epic, awesome match. All of that put into one. Basically, like the whole match, it was like a classic It was like a classic tag matches with basically like both teams were gaining the advantage and then losing the advantage. Lots of brawls. Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt were fighting with like the fans. They were like fighting outside the arena. They were fighting in the crowd, and then Dean Ambrose just disappeared. Then the Wyatt family put Seth Rollins through a table, and then Roman Reigns tried to fight back against the Wyatt family, but then he lost. Anyway, it was a great war, a great battle, a great match. That I give a 5-star. That was a 5-star match, hands down, 5 stars. And then after all of this excitement, people were saying, "Well, geez, I don't know how Batista and Alberto Del Rio will do after this match." Luckily, they didn't come on right away. Then next, we had a Diva match on the pay-per-view. We had a Diva match between AJ Lee versus Cameron of the Funkadactyls. I didn't really give a shit about this, but AJ cut a promo before the match saying how she is the longest reigning Diva champion, and then she gets interrupted by Cameron, and then they have the match, and then AJ retained by disqualification. All in all, it was a stupid match. AJ Lee deserves much better competition than this. And then after this match, I was right. They had 4 Bad News Barret promos, because after this match, Bad News Barret came out again, and he makes fun of the fans and the WWE Network, saying about how the network will make the fans poor because they're going to be home all day watching the product, and kids will be kicked out of school. It was pretty funny. What I think would have been funny is if Wade Barrett came out to do a Bad News Barret promo after the Shield versus the Wyatt family match, and then the Shield pushed him off his podium. Off his Bad News Barret podium. That would have been pretty funny, I think. But, yeah. And then after that match, we had Batista versus Alberto Del Rio, and Alberto Del Rio came out and says he can't compete due to his injury, and then all of a sudden he attacks Batista with the crutches before the match starts. And I feel kind of bad for Batista, because the whole match, the fans were ripping Batista apart. They were chanting Bootista instead of Batista, Bootista, Y2J, Daniel Bryan, and CM Punk. These are all the things they were chanting during the Batista versus Alberto Del Rio match, and they were just booing Batista. And the sad thing is that the fans made Alberto Del Rio the face in that match, and Batista was the heel. That's when you know the WWE messed up, when Alberto Del Rio is the face, and the fans are cheering for him instead of Batista. That's when you know the WWE really screwed up. Like I said, I just feel bad for Batista, because, he doesn't really... he's just doing his job. Does he deserve to main event main event WrestleMania 30? Hell no. Does he deserve to get booed? Yes. But I just feel kind of bad for him. But, and now, see, with this whole thing about the fans booing him, obviously Batista is not going to be a face. The WWE needs to make Batista a heel. The sooner the better. I think what should happen is that at WrestleMania 30, since it will now be Randy Orton versus Batista unless the WWE... Oh, wait. Shit. Sorry. Either way... Sorry, I just spoiled my review. But, either way, I think Batista should turn heel soon. Yeah, like I say. And, Batista won the match, and it wasn't very long, thank God. It was like a 5-minute, 10-minute match. So thank God it wasn't very long. So, here, I'm going to get a drink real quick. Gotta love root beer. Then we had the main event in the Elimination Chamber. And this is the reason why I love the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, is because of this chamber, the Elimination Chamber thing. It's epic. This is why it's my favorite pay-per-view of the year in WWE, because there's just this barbaric chamber, there's 4 pods, and there's no way out. And there's no way out once you're in that chamber. You are in the chamber until the match ends. And there will be a champion. I love that concept and all that stuff. So for the Elimination Chamber match for the World Heavyweight Championship, we had John Cena, Cesaro, Sheamus, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, and Christian fighting for the title. And during the match, Sheamus bro-kicked through a chamber glass when Orton cowardly hid in the chamber pod, which was pretty funny. He just bro-kicked the glass and broke it to get to Randy Orton, which was pretty badass, I gotta say. And then after that, Christian eliminated Sheamus by jumping off the pod onto Sheamus. So basically, they got on top of the pod, jumped down, and hit Sheamus, which was pretty funny, or pretty cool. And then after that, Daniel Bryan eliminates Christian with a running knee. And then John Cena eliminated Antonio Cesaro with an STF submission. And I gotta say though, Antonio Cesaro made an impressive showing at the Elimination Chamber. Cesaro was just kicking everyone's asses. He really impressed me during this match. Antonio Cesaro was good. And then after John Cena eliminated Antonio Cesaro, then out of nowhere, you hear the Wyatt family intro. The lights go out. You hear their little music fan again. The lights come on. All 3 members of the Wyatt family are in the chambers. I don't know how, but they got in the chamber. And they started to attack John Cena and Daniel Bryan. They attacked John Cena and Daniel Bryan. And then Randy Orton eliminates John Cena after the Wyatt family attacks John Cena. And then the last 2 in the chamber are Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. And then Daniel Bryan attacks Kane when Kane gets in the chamber. After Kane told the Wyatt family to leave, then Kane gets into the chamber. And then Daniel Bryan attacks Kane. And then after Kane distracts Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton gives Daniel Bryan an RKO. And then Daniel Bryan kicked out of the RKO, and then Daniel Bryan tried to battle it back against Randy Orton and Kane, but then Kane distracted him again, and then Randy Orton gave him another RKO. So Randy Orton retained the title. All in all, it was an awesome Elimination Chamber match. Even though Randy Orton won and a lot of fans left unhappy because Daniel Bryan lost, I thought it was good booking by WWE. I thought it was a very good Elimination Chamber match. I don't know. I'm a little worried though about Randy Orton versus Batista as the main event at WrestleMania. I hope they change this. I hope they have Daniel Bryan in there as like a triple threat, or I don't know. But the WWE's got to fix something. Even if we have to have Randy Orton versus Batista, please, God, WWE, don't put this in the main event, please. But either way, so I gave the Shield versus the Wyatt family a 5-star match. That was a 5-star match, and then for the Elimination Chamber match as the main event, even though Randy Orton won, which was the correct booking, and Daniel Bryan lost, I give the Elimination Chamber match a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Excellent match for WWE. But all in all, the Elimination Chamber was way better than the Royal Rumble. Way better than the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble sucked ass. I thought the Royal Rumble was worse. I thought it was like the worst Royal Rumble ever. Luckily, the Elimination Chamber made up for it. The Elimination Chamber was way better than the Royal Rumble. And like I said, the Wyatt family versus the Shield was the match of the night. And the Chamber match was pretty awesome too. And I also enjoyed some of the Bad News Barret promos. So for this whole pay-per-view leading to WrestleMania, I give it a 6.5 out of 10 stars. And that's my review for this, guys. Also, just to let you guys know quickly, I will not be doing a Monday Night Raw review tomorrow, but I will still watch Monday Night Raw because Monday Night Raw tomorrow is going to be big. Hulk Hogan's coming to Raw tomorrow to tell us about how he's going to host WrestleMania 30. They got the network, the WWE Network launching. They have Brock Lesnar. The Undertaker's going to be there, and so is Brock Lesnar. All in all, Monday Night Raw tomorrow is going to be epic. It's going to be big, and I cannot wait to watch it. But I will not do a Raw review of it because I'll be busy on Tuesday. I got a lot of shit to do this week, so I just thought I would let you guys know. I hope you guys liked my video. Like, comment, share, all that good shit. Peace out, guys. Happy Sunday.